Hey everyone, this is Dave from Dave's Ohio Barbecue. Today I am going to be making my maple honey pork butt on the pellet grill. Stick around. So I don't make pork butt all that often. I buy a lot of my meat from Costco and they always have pork shoulder. They have pork butt, but it's always boneless. And I'm not a big fan of smoking boneless pork shoulder. I think I have a video where I did and it turned out fine, but I just like having the bone. It tends to, I don't know, cook a little bit more evenly. Plus you get that awesome little thing at the end where if you've done it correctly, you can just take the bone and pull it right out of the pork butt and it comes out clean. Ooh, there's almost nothing as satisfying as that in the barbecue world. I was at Costco the other day and now they're carrying bone-in pork shoulders, 2 packs. So I have this 7-pound pork butt that I'm going to prepare today. It's already trimmed pretty good. Just take a look at it, see if there's any fat or any weird kind of tendons or anything on there that you don't want, and trim them off. A lot of people trim the fat cap off. I'm actually going to leave it, and there's a reason I'm going to leave the fat cap on there. There is a step you can add to this process if you want. Some people complain that pork, particularly like pulled pork, tends to be a little flavorless. And that has a lot to do with how the pork is raised and everything. If you've got some sort of high-end like artisanal pork, that was raised only being fed acorns or something, you probably don't have to worry too much about the flavor of the meat itself. But if you just bought it at a big box store like Costco, like I did, you may want to boost that flavor a little bit. And here's what I do. It's really simple. If you have some sort of marinade injector like I do, I've got this big, evil doctor looking thing here. You can inject it with a little bit of something. I wouldn't go overboard. I'm just going to take some warm water. Okay, I take about a half cup of warm water. I add a teaspoon of salt, a teaspoon of Worcestershire sauce. That's it. I put it in the fridge for, about 30 minutes to cool it down because I don't want to inject warm liquid into the pork butt. But then I just take my needle here and inject it all around the night before I cook it. That way it has time to kind of spread out through there and just put a little bit of a flavor, a little Worcestershire. I probably could do some maple syrup or something in there too. But for this, I just like to get a little bit of salt into the pork ahead of time. It increases the flavor. Do you have to do this step? No, you do not have to do this step. If you've got the equipment and you want to, go for it. So about an hour before I put this on the smoker, I'm gonna treat it with a rub. And I'm just using my basic barbecue rub. It's kind of like everyone's basic barbecue rub. I'll put the recipe in the description down below, but here's what I did. And the only thing is, usually my basic barbecue rub has brown sugar in it, but I substituted maple sugar this time. Couple reasons. It doesn't clump as much. And plus, this is my maple honey pork butt, so I kind of like to add that a little bit extra kick of maple flavor to it. Now that my rub's all mixed up, I need to put it on the pork butt. You can put it on just straight if you want, but I always like to have a binder. I use stadium mustard. It's a Cleveland thing, ballpark mustard, stadium mustard. It's kind of like a spicy brown mustard basically, but a little different. And I use that as my binder. I just kind of rub a really thin layer of it all over the pork butt, and then I'm going to coat it with a decent coating of this rub. All right, before I put this thing on the smoker, why don't you go and hit that subscribe button down there, hit the little bell too so you get notifications every time I make a new video. For the smoker today, I've got my Louisiana Grills LG900. I'm running it with some apple pellets in there just because I really like the flavor. But in addition to that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to light up my Amazing tube, my pellet tube, and I'm going to put some cherry pellets in there just because I feel cherry smoke gives a little bit more of that mahogany color on the bark and everything, and I like to add that little kick of smoke just on the top of what the pellet smoker can produce. I'm going to warm my pellet grill up. When you turn it on, it goes to 360 to get everything warmed up and running. I'm going to set it today. My temperature is going to be 275 degrees. Okay, so I said earlier that I'm going to leave the fat cap on top of this pork butt, but actually I'm going to use it on the bottom. This is a tip I picked up from my friends over at Heavy Metal Barbecue. If you haven't checked out that YouTube channel, please do so, and I'll leave a link down below so you can get to it easily. Go subscribe to them. Got great information there. With this pellet grill and with most pellet grills, there's usually, you know, one centralized heat source, and it gets a lot hotter near that heat source, obviously. In the past, you know, if I've cooked a brisket or something on my offset smoker, I always keep the fat cap on top and let the fat kind of go through and baste the meat, you know, as it cooks, which some people say works great, some people say I'm wasting my time. But with the pellet smoker, what I prefer to do, and this is after the information I got, put the fat cap on the bottom, almost like a heat shield, because I've got that really, really intense heat source at the one end, and if I keep the fat cap there, it's going to kind of, you know, help it cook a little bit more evenly. It's going to shield the bottom from getting burned, and it also gives it a little bit more time to absorb the smoke, and that's really kind of what we're looking for. No thermometers or anything yet. I'm just going to run it right now and let it go. When I get about an hour in, I am going to spritz this thing. I'm going to take a little bit of apple cider vinegar, 50% apple cider vinegar, 50% water, and spray it. And from now on, every hour or so, I'm going to open it up and I'm going to give it a little spray until I get to the desired color that I want on the pork butt. All right, so now that it's been wrapped up, I've added some of that mop, that apple cider water spray into the tin foil. I'm going to put it back on the smoker, and I'm going to continue smoking it until the internal temperature of the meat is about 195. Now that's not really done. I really want it to go up above 200. But at 195, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the pork butt off. I am going to glaze it with this honey maple barbecue sauce glaze that I make. It's just 12 ounces of barbecue sauce, 5 ounces of maple syrup, 3 ounces of honey, and then 4 ounces of apple cider vinegar. You put it in a pot, heat it up to a simmer for about 5 to 8 minutes till it's all combined, and there you have it. You can just use this to mop on there. I'm going to take it out of the foil. I'm going to get all the different sides of this thing mopped really good with this glaze. I really want a nice coating on there. And when you're done glazing this thing, make sure you save any of this extra mop sauce for later. And then I just chuck it back on the smoker, still at 275 degrees, for about another 15-20 minutes until that glaze kind of firms up and tacks up, okay? When you're done with that, you're going to want to let it rest for at least a half hour. You can go as long as an hour, I find, but I'm going to let it at least go for a half hour. I put it in one of these disposable foil pans. I cover it with a thick sheet of aluminum foil up top, and then I'm just going to chuck it in my barbecue cooler, and I will get to shredding it here in a bit. I had a viewer make a comment the other day about how sometimes in my recipes I don't really give specific times, like this brisket's going to take you 14.5 hours, or these ribs will take you 5. I don't really, and no one should, I don't cook to time. I cook this pork butt till I like the color on the bark on the outside. When I like the color of the bark, I'm going to wrap it up in some foil, and then is when the thermometer comes in handy. If you don't have a digital thermometer or wireless thermometer, even just a probe, you probably need to get one if you're really looking to get into barbecue. Because I am just cooking this until it gets to 195 degrees, and that's not even my finished temperature. That's the temperature that I'm going to apply the glaze. So when people say, why don't you give a time? Don't cook to time, cook to temperature. Now you can see this thing turned out super good, super juicy. If you find it's a little too dry for your liking, what you can do is if you have a little bit of that glaze left over, shred up the pork, dump that in there, and kind of mix it around. That'll give you a little extra boost of flavor. It'll also kind of moisten it a bit, but I don't tend to do that. If people want to add it to their own, bun or whatever, they're more than welcome to. And I like to serve these as sliders. I've got some nice bakery buns here that we picked up at the deli, and we are gonna just, go to town on this. It's not a very labor-intensive recipe. Once you get everything set up, it goes really quick, and the results are always great. and it feeds a crowd. As always, thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel. Hit the little bell, the little notification bell next to the subscribe button. That way, every time I make a new video, you will get notified about it. Also, be sure to follow me on social media. I'm on Twitter and Instagram at Dave's Ohio Barbecue, and I also have a Facebook page. Just go to Facebook and search Dave's Ohio Barbecue. I'm the only one there, and it should be pretty easy to find. I've got a lot of videos coming out really soon. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.